I had on an all leather dress, 6-inch heels. But I remember that day getting my makeup done and getting myself together. And I remember looking in the mirror and like, you that bitch.
Welcome to the Love Is podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole. That's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl. It's that thorny chick here, KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the amazing, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. Mr. DK Walker, tell the people hello.
What's popping, people? Like, you threw amazing in the mix. Like, okay, so what have I done lately to be amazing?
I don't know.
So you just lying to the people just that quickly? You would just straight lies? Okay, for the record, I'm just
it was to boost you.
It's all right. It was a lie. It was a lie because you couldn't even tell me why I was amazing. So for the record, people, I'm just the lovable asshole, DK Walker. Nothing amazing about me yet.
And yet you didn't pick up on my, here's Johnny, The Price is Right voice tone that I didn't either.
What?
Nothing.
Lord have mercy.
Surprise, Johnny.
Okay. The dry humor is, Lord, hug me, hold me, stop the pain. Make the pain
that was like a love song and a prayer plea all at the same time.
Yeah, if you ever say something, just
what are we going through today?
I don't know. We're gonna put a cap on the corny shit though. Like the Price is Right. What the girl? Look, tap into your inner blackness, man. Let's get this show on the road.
Not my inner blackness. I wake up black. I go to sleep black all day long. I'm black. Listen.
Yeah, with that right there,
blackity black. You already knew it was coming. So I have very exciting news for you and our listeners. You ready? Ready? I have not in 1 week, 7 full days. Cue Tony Braxton, 7 whole days. I have not done anything that would put me in harm's way. There's not one beauty regimen that I have partaken in 7 days.
So if that's the case, then do you want to give the rest of the story to the people? Like, you just will give them half the story and be like, wow, Karen's changed for the better. She's no longer risking her safety for vanity's sake. So you want to give the people the rest of the story why for 7 whole days that you've yet to venture out to nail salon,
into
beauty salon, or any other salon to enhance your already beautiful self?
I mean, thank you,
yes.
But I don't need anything right now. I don't. My hair color is doing fantabulous.
And that's the rest of the story. So if you...
What is the rest of the story then?
To be a gentleman.
Go ahead.
Well, the rest of the story is the reason that you didn't do anything to yourself to enhance a beautiful woman. The reason that you didn't enhance your already beautiful self is because you don't need to. Like, you just recently went and got your eyebrows done. You just recently went and got your feet done. You just recently went and got your wig done. That's the whole story. It ain't like I needed something. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do without because we're still under quarantine, although they're trying to ease us back into some normalcy. So,
Sir,
like, once again, yes,
ma'am.
To the
podcast. They know what's up. So they know that when they hear this, that I haven't done anything to put myself in harm's way. So I got to be the butt of jokes on the gram.
I mean,
And speaking of the gram, everybody thus far about my hair says I was justified. Just so you know, DK Walker.
Okay, so the people that say that you were justified in risking your health, right? So they're very selfish because I need you for other reasons than you looking good, right? I need you to be on the other side of this microphone, with the great voice, guiding me, through your podcast. So those people, like, okay, the people that liked you on the ground was probably girlfriends and they can relate because they're vain with their vain asses. And there was the guys that was really thirsty. Oh, queen, you're so beautiful, queen.
Right. Because that's exactly what it was too. My girlfriends did not come and post. But I had already gotten all the likes and hyped up on my side of the gram versus when, you know, I put it on the business side. And speaking of our social media, you can find me on Instagram at DaJamerican, DaJamerican. You can find the Love Is podcast where you can comment on not only the what the fuck news, our outtakes, our intakes, are all the in-betweens at the Love Is podcast. However, this is the trick to it, is the _love_is_ podcast. You can find the Lovable Asshole DK Walker at just that on Instagram. However, it is the _lovable_asshole_DK_Walker. And if you just can't get enough of us, which you really should not be at this point in life, you can find us on our Facebook fan page, or if you just don't have Instagram, at the Love Is podcast. You should be looking for a red heart torn in two with a pair of headphones, or you can at Love Costs Nothing and Everything, and to comment on all these fantabulous episodes that we have done. We are like pushing towards what, like 9, 10 now? I think this is the 8th one, 9th one.
Ooh, you can't be telling people and be wrong with the episode. So you should know what episode we on, right? Because once
we did a special, so that technically counts. So that's 8. So this one's 9.
Technically it doesn't, because when we list it, it'll be listed as a special. We'll go into an episode there. I know, hey, you jumped out the window with no parachute. It's all right. I'm here to save you.
That's not uncommon. It's not uncommon.
Captain Saver, fill in the blank. Dun, 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 dun.
There we go. Here you go. You know, I just want Superman to save me. That's all. I just want to be lowest. To leave us feedback, to leave us what you think Love Is videos, and getting to that video. Please, please, please keep sending us those videos. I'm loving them. I don't know about DK. You know, we're going to try to work on that Grinch's heart. But please send us what you think Love Is to you videos. Please shoot them horizontally and let them be at least a minute and 15 seconds. And you can send all of that, your commentary, your feedback, whatever you don't feel comfortable leaving on the gram or Facebook, to askdk@nlpublishing.com. That is ENEL publishing.com. And if you just don't feel like talking to him, which, you know, I'm sure could be a prerogative of someone, you could also email the Love Is podcast at nlpublishing.com, ENEL publishing.com. And if you just don't want to take the time to send an email, because I feel like, I don't know if emails are going to become an antiquated thing or not, but you can always text us. And I do mean us.
Number. Text only number. Text only.
Text only.
Number.
Text only.
Text only.
Don't call Tyrone, because he ain't going to answer no way. It's 202-715-1645.
Okay.
Are you getting any text messages?
We don't promote that as much. And the answer is no. You?
I didn't get text messages. I will say this. The viewers are finding me on social media, so they leave me comments there as the episodes are rolling out. And so, but
you got to keep in mind, though, I'm sorry to cut you off. You got to keep in mind, like, so what happens is, all jokes aside, you know, we batch a lot of our content because you work in your profession. You work those really long, crazy hours, and I work in my profession, really long and crazy hours. So when we do, we'll batch a couple of, and that means record a couple of episodes back to back. And so the rollout comes like it's already recorded. And so by the time we, you know, it's kind of, the listeners are catching up to us is what's happening. Mm-hmm. So by the time that they hear this, you know, we should really have more feedback from our listeners. And once again, we would love to hear from you. Like, if you ask us, if you text us a question, our goal is to, because we're going to want to develop a segment on the show that's called Ask DK. Now, you know, not only ask me, if you want to ask, you know, my lovely, beautiful, talented co-host, Kern, the Thorny Chic, Rose, a question, you can also, you know, direct that question to her. Once again, that text only number is
202-715-1645.
Right. So in case you don't want to email us, you can definitely text us, and we're going to read all those questions on the podcast. We won't say your name unless you want us to. So, you know. Help us out getting that segment on this show developed. Thank you so much. And also, for the people that's listening on iTunes, do us a big favor. We usually reserve this asking of you, our listening audience. If you're listening to the show on iTunes, we need you to do a huge favor and leave us reviews of the podcast. Whether you like it, dislike it, can't stand the sound of my voice, can't stand the words that's coming out of my mouth, it don't make a difference. We just need you to leave us reviews on the podcast if you're listening to us on iTunes. Also, if you by chance listen to us on We post this on YouTube as well. Please leave us a review there as well.
And subscribe while you're there.
And like,
subscribe, and comment in that order.
Likes, yeah, in chicken nuggets. Yeah.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. That's how I'm feeling right now.
So one of our viewers did text me and say that they are probably never going to drink smoothies at least for 30 days.
And that was of a previous podcast. Can you tell the listeners that maybe didn't have a chance to hear that podcast why they won't be drinking smoothies at least for 30? And why 30 days?
Listen, it's a texture. It's a texture and a mental thing. Like I can't even be mad about it. I don't think I've drinking one since I reported the what the fuck news myself. And that,
and the crazy part is, I make it a habit to go out the way to stop past tropical smoothie. Like what? That just like what?
You and that peanut butter paradise.
You damn right. Like if women, women, if I'm married, right? But if I was single, let me go and get that caveat out the way. I'm married, you know what I mean? But if I was single and y'all tasted like peanut butter paradise, I promise you, have a seat. If you tasted like peanut butter paradise, oh my God, suck the soul out you. Anyway, I digress.
Lord Jesus, moving on out of you, because listen, you are summoning a peanut butter paradise, and you summoning something your DMs that you don't want, and that's the same podcast. This what the fuck news came out of. So why
they got to understand ain't nobody jumping my DMs. This is all tongue in cheek humor. Get it? Tongue in cheek humor. Pun intended.
Peanut butter paradise. Tongue in cheek. All right.
Exactly. So I'm just I'm just saying if women tasted like certain things like peanut butter paradise or certain cakes or certain ice creams, like Jesus, man. Dessert. I digress.
Are you hungry?
I don't know. I might pull some peanut butter paradise on my wife. I'm not sure. I haven't made up my mind yet. I digress.
Well, ask God for small favors. Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
So anyway. The listener is referring to the what the fuck news that came about that I reported. There is this woman named Tracy Kiss. Interesting of names. That.
And I'm such a huge fan of hers, by the way. I am
we know you and all the men that
you have a special place in my heart, Miss Kiss. You have matter of fact, I'm developing a new segment called Fan of the Week. Tracy Kiss, you're the fan of the week until we find somebody else to replace you as it stands right now. Until we find somebody else, you are the fan of the week. That's the new segment on the show. Tracy Kiss, because she did a phenomenal thing. Like, could you please tell the people what Tracy Kiss did, please?
She puts her boyfriend's semen in her smoothies.
Actually, I read the joint. It wasn't even a boyfriend. It was just a friend. Like, it wasn't even like, I could have been wrong. I think she said it was just a friend.
So in the past, it was just a friend. Now she has a boyfriend and they have a long distance relationship.
Wow. Yeah. And what's the benefit of her drinking those high protein smoothies? What is the benefits that she's claiming?
She says she don't ever get sick and her skin is better than ever.
So you see, the way you said that, it was such disdain and disbelief. You don't think that's true?
No, I don't. I've been using Neutrogena.
Okay, so stop. Because so we got one-on-one. She says it's true. You says it's not. Females, to listen to the podcast. You don't have to put your business out there unless you want to. We all adults. And sometimes it's okay to have adult conversation. So if you believe that extra protein, whether you drink it, whether you put it on your face, does it help out? Is it any medical benefits to, come from a man? We want to know. So once again, you can text us that information. You can definitely leave it in the comments. We would definitely want to know, is Kern right when she says she don't see the benefit of the bullshit, or is my favorite person, Tracy, right?
Listen, and she only gonna be your favorite for about a minute until I get past what the fuck news, because I'm gonna talk about one of your favorite people after what the fuck news.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So moving on to my favorite segment. It really, really is, because it gives me the license to just randomly pull things out of the air that I find on the internet and read.
It's better than pulling shit out your ass.
Ew. Well, go wash your hands. Go wash your hands while I read this.
It's not even literal.
robot, huh?
Not literal. That wasn't literal. Just people make stuff up. Anyway, please, I'm going to be quiet.
You sure?
Continue with the what the fuck news.
What in what the fuck news? It is robot sex inventor. Did you get all that?
Say it again.
Robot sex doll inventor.
Okay.
Claims it has improved his marriage.
Okay.
So
I'm reserving my feedback until you get done, because I don't know where you're going to with this. Like I'm an open-minded person. Like I don't judge. I promise you, I'm in no position to judge nobody how they got to get through life when it comes to what goes on behind closed doors. That's not what I do, right? But please, before I throw my 2 cents, my shiny 2 pennies, continue on with what the fuck news.
All right, Frankie Beverly, before I let go. So here, the reason I'm laughing is because it's a female doll. Go figure. Of course it's a female doll. Of course it can't be male. But I digress. So, Sergey Santos.
So, okay, stop. I'm sorry. So, like, I can't let that ride. I'm sorry. And the listeners like, why don't you let her talk? Like, whatever.
Right.
Like, because somebody, anyway, bite me. So, look, why did you take so much disdain in it being a female doll when the sex toy industry has always been garnered towards women? Like, it's always this, that, and the third, whether it's been lube, whether it's been dildos, vibrators, cock rings, it's always been for the benefit of the woman. And as soon as somebody creates something for the man, you say that was like, come on, you got to keep it 100. Got to keep it bang 50-50. I mean, like, it's about time somebody's like, we got needs too. Matter of fact, what's that doctor's name that created the doll? Do you know?
Sergey Santos.
Matter of fact, he's my new favorite person. He is the new.
And I didn't even get out of what the fuck news.
It's my man right there, because he took the time out to create a doll. Me personally, I prefer,
Listen, you don't even know what the article is about before you start giving out your preferences. Peanut butter paradise.
I could wish. Man could wish.
I wish I may. I wish I might.
Anyway.
Continue. So he created, of course, a female doll. And of course, I'm laughing because if he wanted to make some money and the sex toy industry is geared towards women, you start out with a male doll. Anywho, he is married.
No. Oh, no. I'm sorry, because there's so many things. Okay, so all jokes aside, right? Because I know I'm being a butt. Please forgive me. No, he did the right thing, because a woman can't justify paying the price it would cost for a whole doll, whereas a man would justify it and be great with it. Right. Look at it this way. Anytime the man would take the time to send women just random dick pics, he's not above buying a female doll. A woman will justify that money towards and I don't want to be sexist, but they would justify spending that amount of money on shoes, purse, some type of upgrade. Whereas a man, like, okay, cool, I can get this and I don't have to date ever. And so, yeah, he did right by it because he knew who his target market was.
Wow. At this current moment, and in the beginning, it was just him. So he says, you want to keep the passion in a relationship, try adding a robotic sex doll. His doll's name is Samantha.
Samantha?
Yeah, she's got red hair. Well, burgundy. He's a 39-year-old electrical engineer. He has been married for 16 years. And this is what he had to say. A man wants to feel in general that the woman is desperate to have sex with him. And desperate? If a man feels like the woman will not enjoy sex fully, most men don't like the sex, and this is a cause of many sexual problems.
Do you agree or disagree? I don't. Okay, let me before you answer that. I don't want to be wanted desperately. Right? That's kind of being overzealous. That's you're being real zealous. I don't want you to want me desperately. But he does speak to a truth. We want to be wanted. Don't that's a two-way street. It's not always a woman that needs to be desired. Men love to be desired as well, no matter if we have grays showing, no matter if we've been packed on some pounds, no matter if we don't move around like our younger selves, we still want to be wanted. Maybe not desperately, but at the end of the day, yes, we do want to be desired.
Yeah, I think where he threw me was the desperate part. And I definitely, co-sign what you say. I want to be wanted. I don't want to be needed. I've been needed before, and hence why we are where we are right now in life. So moving on.
No follow-up questions. Okay, moving on.
No follow-up questions on that part. As for him and his wife, he says that I need sex sometimes, multiple times of the day, and my wife does not want to. He said, look, I said, look, sex is breaking already many relationships because of the lack of synchronism. And I don't want that pressure on our marriage. And so he created the doll. He is selling the doll between $2,800 up to $7,000.
That's my dude. That's right. Yes. Take out a personal loan. Take out a personal loan. Go down to your bank.
Credit card. They done applied for that credit card increase, that credit line.
Exactly. Go to the credit union
right now. He is planning to build a male sex doll, into which they did ask his wife, was she going to help? And she said that she would be willing to try it out. He, though, however, in response says that he is hesitant to do it because he goes, I think I would feel jealous if she used the male sex robot. If I found out that she liked him better than me, and this,
God,
in the sense that she doesn't want to be with me, I'd get divorced. Now, y'all love to talk about the female ego and, all the upkeep that we do, and how I have to use filters on every picture. However, I'm happy he said that for the simple fact that there's a man that knows a woman's psyche. Because listen, if I'm building a sex doll, y'all know it's coming like it's going to look next to the body of Morris Chestnut at his prime. It's coming dark chocolate, abs for days, and probably a penis down to it. Like, let's just be serious.
So in my mind, I'm flipping my imaginary coin in my mind, like I'm Harvey Dent, right? Like how do I want to play this? Do I want to be nice?
No,
I don't want to be like.
So go on ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Like, I don't understand how. Like, I just don't get it. That's just like, okay, cool. I can't knock a woman's preference, right? Because I'm pretty sure when the dude built the female version of the doll, she was ample in all the places that he found attractive. So let me not, pass judgment. And of course, and then you're speaking for you. Like you would build a doll to your preference. That's not necessarily to all ladies' preferences. That's for you. Can we at least say that? Right. Okay.
That preference is for me and all the women who like bodies like Morris Chestnut.
But once again, you can't be the voice of all women, right? Unless you had personal conversation with all women, and all women say this is exactly what I like.
No, I'm just saying about me and the ones that like the Morris Chestnut. That's all I'm saying.
Morris Chestnut rolling around his grave right now. Yes, I know he's still alive.
Right. That's sacrilegious.
Well, actually, that's a Charles Barkley line. I digress. Anyway, but no, I'm not. I think the doctor needs a hug. Like, you can't have it two ways. You can't, build this sex robot doll for you and then, get your rocks off and be jealous and threaten divorce of your wife. Like, so that's where the inner perv got to come in at, right? Like, you got to, enjoy her enjoyment. Like, you have to be a real live pleaser to enjoy. Because if it was good for the goose, and I'm a dude, so I'm gonna keep it a buck. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So you can't be talking about this is helping my marriage, because what you're doing is being honest, right? Me being honest is you're being really selfish right now. Because unless your wife is joining in between you and you call her Samantha. I'll call her Robotica. So unless your wife is joining in with you and Robotica, then you're being selfish. Now, if it's just you and Robotica, then and then if you build something else, it's a man, and then you take your wife's input. And okay, let's go ahead and hedge what Karen said. Let's give him an 8-pack. Let's give him a penis of 9 inches, half inches in girth, right? And yeah, so. How does that work out for you? Like, I mean, so you have to be open-minded enough to actually see your wife be pleasured, not by another man, but by a sex doll. And true, she could like it better, and she could start to defer to the sex doll more to you. But isn't she running the same risks when you're having sex with Robotica? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, Slim. I'm sorry. Don't work that way.
It does not. It does not. So,
but if you need somebody to test out Robotica, if you can build me one new, I don't want nothing used. I'll gladly, test it out and let the people know, like, is it worth, upwards of $7,000? It's the sacrifice I'm willing to make for the podcast. That's how much I love my listeners, that I'll make that sacrifice.
For the listeners, at least I know it is for me.
For the listeners, this is what I do for the listeners,
for me and not for my baby. The Love Is podcast, but for the listeners, okay.
For the listeners, for the things I do for y'all,
for the children. Okay. Should I start you a GoFundMe page?
You should.
Okay.
You
For
honestly,
you and Robotica.
for Robotica. That's the name of the go. Like we joking. No. I get to thinking about it, and y'all look around like he was for real. They started up a
Okay.
GoFundMe page.
Listen, and don't think I'm petty. I'm not petty enough to go do it because I'll go do it right now, phone in hand as I'm talking.
No, I'm good. I do not need. I don't need the missus killing me and killing you too. I'm good.
You'll kill me. I don't have to
Why
worry
not? If you are accomplice to the bullshit, yes, yeah, you be making the doggone.
Always, that's my role in life. Whether it's you or my bestie, I'm always the accomplice.
Yeah, I hear that. So I can't speak on your bestie. I don't know who's his significant other, but my wife, I love her. She's a tad bit psycho. So no, do not start no GoFundMe page. No, leave that alone. I'm just having fun. But Doc, holler at me, Doc. We'll talk about it.
We're just having fun. But Sergey Santos, please hit him up at askdk@nlpublishing.com, enelpublishing.com.
Or text me 202. Text me, Doc.
Wait, where is he texting you?
202-715-1645.
Okay.
Like you can either. I don't care how you do it. Just get at me. You know, that's what I'm willing to do to help the podcast listen out and help the doc out. Let me, you know what I mean?
Lord Jesus. So this has been an ongoing conversation that I have had with you, DK, my friends. So I always kind of am, what do we want to say? I'm always kind of arguing this point that I always feel like there's a double standard of certain things in life between men and women. Because honestly, had we left it up to me, and I've said this before, probably like the podcast name would have been The Battle of the Sexes. Because that's how I feel every day goes. So one of a good issue, I guess, to debate about, if that's how you want to address this, is I always feel weight is a good one, that there's a double standard. So I saw the meme on Facebook, Instagram, I think, pretty much. And the meme was saying how Rick Ross had, lost all this weight, but still wasn't what we consider, quote unquote, prime condition, six pack, the body of Morris Chestnut.
That sounds so. See, I let that ride the first time. I did. And I'm gonna let you get your point across. I let that ride when you was building the sex all about the whole, shout out to my man Rick Ross, the boss. Because he lost a lot of weight and he had the confidence enough to still, rock out with his shirt off. But I'm gonna let you get your point across before, I double back. So I apologize for interrupting. Please continue.
So the meme is asking us, as a society, as men and women, why is it okay for Rick Ross, who's lost all this weight, to, perform with his shirt off and still not be in quote unquote prime condition? But then we bash people like, drumroll, DK's.
Stop. I'm sorry. Apologize. Like that's, I meant to talk to you about it a couple of podcasts ago. You can never do it because unless you really got good, tongue rotation action, your drum roll suck. Yeah, it still sucks. I'm sorry. Like, so just stop. Don't do that ever again. You didn't scared somebody's dog.
The dog, really?
Yeah.
Always gotta take it there. Anyway, DK's favorite person, that
one of
his favorite people. You will be very surprised what he listens to in his car. Surprise. He is. Do you want to tell him?
No, of course not.
Y'all hold on to whatever you sitting in. Lizzo.
How can you not love Lizzo?
Listen, that's why I knew Tracy Kiss was not gonna last long, because as soon as I said Lizzo, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Right. So go ahead.
Lizzo was out, was out last summer, out and about, as her albums and things were dropping, and, performing on stage in, two pieces. She's gone on live almost naked, pretty much. And so they were saying, well, if it's okay for Rick Ross to do it, why is it not okay for Lizzo? Okay, and why would she be fat shamed? And so it resonated really, 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 really hard with me, because again, here we are with this double standard of what's quote unquote okay for a man and what's not for a woman.
Okay. So you want to walk us through how does that, why does that make you feel that way? We would really appreciate it. Take your time. Because this can truly help a lot of people with that, right? Because they're suffering from pressure that which I believe is not real. But I can't talk to people that feel that something, because like energy makes things real. Bottom line. But before I get into my whole spiel, and it's really not, fair to either sexes, I'm gonna go into that because Karen speak about this because we, of course, we talked about on the podcast what was the subject going to be, and so she wanted to bring this topic to the podcast because it affects her. So I'm gonna get out the way, let her, do what she do, and then I'm gonna double back around.
All right, twice around the moon.
Only once.
I'm gonna do one. So, things that you don't know about the Thorny Chick. So as a child, so we'll just say elementary school, I was bullied for being overweight. And so at an early age, I had developed emotional eating. And so what people weren't really, I guess it's kind of like one was distracting from the other. So people didn't realize, my sister and I were living through what we deemed as World War 15 with our parents. And again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, my parents were not abusive to each other or to us. They were just verbally at it all the time. And so to avoid that, to avoid kind of being in the target of it, to be in the middle of it, to be in the midst of it, I just would eat because you can't get love from two people who are constantly battling. Like from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, it's a battle about everything, from who fed the kids, who's going to bathe the kids, who's going to make sure the kids do X, Y, and Z. Like little things turn into big things. And so as a result, I was packing on the pounds and was being teased relentlessly in elementary school. Never felt the space or the safety to, really say anything to my parents about what was going on. Went to private school my whole life, so we were in uniforms and all that kind of stuff. So they really didn't have to worry about like clothing until we switched schools. So by sixth grade ish, I was still doing fine in school. Seventh grade, I think I was at my heaviest, and my grades were starting to slip. And so then my parents kind of were like, "Okay, what's going on?" I'm like, "I hate it there. I don't want to go anymore." And so eighth grade, they switched schools. At eighth grade. And then I specifically remember, because when we were talking about this, I kind of was like going down memory lane, and I was thinking, I vaguely remember shopping for clothes for eighth grade. And I probably, heaviest ever in my life, I was probably a size 22. I'm currently 36, pushing 37, and I'm a cool 16, 18. And the difference is I'm very comfortable at 16, 18 versus when I was a size 22. When I started freshman year, started a new school. Well, when I started eighth grade at the new school, weight wasn't never even discussed. It wasn't an issue. We went to a private Christian school, and it just never really came up. I started working out freshman year, like 3 times a day. And by the time Christmas had come around of my freshman year, I remember my parents for Christmas having to buy me an entire new wardrobe. And I had turned half of the man cave into like my own personal gym. Like I would like run on the treadmill and watch television back when MTV, like Yo Raps was still popular. Which is funny to say now because, our kids have no idea what MTV Yo Raps is.
Right. That's a Kanye line.
The video is, do they? I don't know.
It's back in the day when MTV played videos.
Yeah. I mean, on rotation, like they had like the top 10 that they would play. So
right. Those were the days.
Right. Tupac was still alive. So, I was really, really loving that. And so got through high school, maintained, the weight loss, became an adult, became very ill. And in the result of becoming very ill, I was having a bleeding issue in the female capacity. And I was on like 3 or 4 types of birth control, and I packed on 150 pounds. So when I graduated high school, I remember being 150 pounds, and I had actually I was down to 135 at one point and couldn't keep anything down. Like my stomach had shrunk so fast and had gotten so small. I was like eating off of a saucer, and I remember not being able to even maintain that. And so I would eat dinner and then regurgitate everything I ate. And it was barely anything anyway. And so my parents took me to the doctor. And the doctor was like, you got to gain at least like 10, 15 pounds to get back to normal. And that was a hard thing because, I had worked so hard to be so small. But my godmother, who at the time was living, said I looked like a walking bobblehead. I had a big head and Oh, God rest her soul. I do love her to death. I love her to death. But she would tell everybody I look like a bobblehead. And so then when I got to college, I was still 150, but in between like that first year of college and that second year, I gained the 150 pounds. And the beautiful part about college is that you're enjoying the experience of college. Like you get to see yourself represented and you get to see so many walks of life that, you really realize like some of the stuff that, you got bullied for as a child really is non-sequential. So me putting on the weight didn't, change who I was, didn't change my popularity. I just physically felt like crap. And so in 2012, so right before I had surgery, I remember getting on the scale and I had to be like 3 something at this point, like I think the heaviest I was like 320, almost 340. And I remember getting on the scale before surgery and looking at the thing and like in sheer shock and like devastation. 2012, got into the gym, was working out again 3 hours a day. And I'm at the current weight I'm at now. Last year I went paleo and I shaved off like 40 pounds off my frame. And that's where we are. We're just sitting at the 40-pound weight loss. So I don't know if this year I might have to find a new diet, but I definitely have put some new things into my diet. Sea moss. I got a new body vest, got new weight gloves. I won't be doing any protein shakes thanks to this podcast. I've rethought that through twice. I'll just stick to the sea moss and rock out.
Okay.
So for me, going through this whole process called my life, and seeing like, guys I went to school with who were doing the bullying, they're all out of shape, got a couple kids, and like, what? There's a part of me that wonders like, why do I even care about what you have to say? Because now life has, fully taken over and now you're the one out of shape.
Right.
But equally, I understand the sentiment behind the meme because, again, like as a woman who's been working out for most of their adult life, trying to quote unquote, not only be healthy, but quote unquote fit whatever society, whatever, label we have for the week, because that's all it's about as long as it lasts. Why is it okay? Or why is it a necessity, I should say, of me to try to kill myself to be something that I might potentially never be?
Okay. So before I throw in, my point of view, what were the underlying, so you said because, your parents fought verbally, what was the main thing that made you pick up all this weight? Was there any other conditions? Anything else playing a factor into that, playing a role into that?
I think when you start that early, like when you find comfort and you find safety, you find something that makes you quote unquote happy. It's an instant gratification type deal. You eat, you feel better. I would eat, I'd feel satisfied or whatever longing I was having at the time. And then I would just go to bed. I never, as far as I can remember, I don't remember ever like binge eating or like sneaking down food, like sneaking down into the kitchen to eat. I just remember eating a lot at one time.
And of course, not having any physical exercise to go with it. So you would eat and just be maybe watching TV, lounging.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I played sports at the earlier part of elementary, and like I did soccer and I did softball. I played volleyball in 6th grade. I can't remember if I was playing sports 7th grade. I want to say I probably still was playing softball.
Okay. And so the double standard that society puts between men and women, how does that affect you today? And you said something that I thought was interesting. You said you see the guys now. Now they're overweight. Now they have kids and they don't look like they used to look. How does that make you feel now? Do you feel
there's a small part of me that feels vindicated? Like, haha, life got you too. Because
right.
We all go into life with a life plan, and we always think that, I think somehow we convince ourselves while we're in high school that high school is all there is, forgetting that when you get released to college, that's a whole different world. There's nobody there to hold your hand to make sure you stay. There's nobody there, that's going to make sure that you go to class. There's nobody who cares whether or not you pass. Like college is a whole different beast. But to the point now, where I rethink of if I really am pushing my kids to go, I'm more or less pushing them into entrepreneurship. But that's a whole different podcast. But
for sure, one that we're going to definitely get into. Believe that.
But I feel like when I got to college, because I was out of like small city, I felt like it was a whole wide world because, you're going to school with different dialects, different religions. You get exposed to so much and you get to see the world differently through other people's eyes. And then because of that, because everybody's there for their education, but everybody just accepts everybody on their level. So whether you're black or white or Egyptian or whatever, like they just don't care. Like in college, they just don't care. It's are you cool to hang out with? Are you going to the icebreaker? Oh, I see such and such at the student union. Oh, that person's in my study group. They cool. They dope. And you just keep it pushing. But I feel like to a certain degree, when I saw, because I think I went to private school for so long, there were so little of us represented that I didn't really realize like all the hues we come in and all the shapes we come in. I think my view was skewed.
Okay. Well, a couple of things, I need the listeners to understand that emotional eating is definitely not a female thing. It's not. I'm speaking from experience. I still to this, well, not to this day, it's not as bad as it used to be. Definitely, I give new meaning to comfort food. Like, when something's bothering me, I definitely stress eat. But what saves me is that, I run behind a trash truck, sanitation technician, fancy word for being a trash man. So that saves me from, actually rolling around. So I definitely feel you on that. Do I think it's fair how society portrays how a woman has to be this size, that size, and a man can be whatever? Yeah, I got to think about it, right? Like, it took a lot for Rick Ross to, step out with the shirt off. Just like it took a lot for Lizzo to step out almost with the shirt off. At the end of the day, anybody that's listening to this, well, before I go down that road, I think, my hat's off to you, Kern, for making those changes. And it's not even the losing weight that my hat is off to you. Anybody that's listening, it's not about being a particular size. It's about being healthy. That's first and foremost. Right? Because everybody's not going to come Barbie doll, right? It's not happening. Those days are long gone. Even the new Barbie dolls has weight on them. Mm-hmm. Like the new Barbie dolls reflect the current, the current life, right? So first and foremost, anybody that's, dealing with weight, dealing with self-esteem, the aim, the goal is to get healthy. Being healthy, is a byproduct of trying to look good. Like you can want to look good all you want to, but the real aim should be, I'm going to be healthy. And then you get to determine, how the world perceives you. Right. And so this is what I mean by this, like, and God bless rest of the dead. Like, so our very first podcast, the name of that podcast was Nothing But Love For You. Right. That was actually supposed to be the title of our podcast. It wasn't going to be the Love Is podcast. It was going to be Nothing But Love For You, right? Or something to that effect, right? I'm mistaken. It was always going to be Love Is podcast, but we were going to be using Nothing But Love, Heavy D's music, right? And the reason I'm referencing Heavy D because Heavy D was a heavy set guy, right? You took his glasses off. I don't want to say he was cockeyed, but when his eyes looked to the right when he was looking straight at you, right? But the reason women found him still attractive, outside the fact that he was light skinned, outside the fact he had good hair, whatever that means, is because of his confidence. It's a beautiful thing, confidence, like that reigns supreme, right? You take Biggie Smalls, he's like ugly, dark, ugly, black, and something to that. Ugly, dark, as black as ever, forever, however, something like that. He called himself ugly, but the reason that he was able to, run through some of the baddest broads in the industry is because he had confidence. And so I think with the difference between men and women, or used to be the difference, is a man can actually get away with being confident no matter what he looked like, right? And women, their looks was determined on whether there was confidence, whether them just being confident, regardless whether they look what they look like or not. And I'm talking to somebody out there today. I just need you to be two things when it comes to battling or having health issues, dealing with weight. Get healthy and just be confident, and then the world will perceive you as a confident person. And a confident person is an attractive person. And that's that's why I'm a huge fan of Lizzo, because she's confident as fuck. I love a confident, like, man, give me a confident woman any day over a supposed bombshell, because a bombshell got to maintain that aura about herself no matter what. So you take a chick that she's gonna take 1 billion doggone selfies, the lighting has to be right, the mood has to be right, her hair has to be right. But a confident chick don't, like, I'm gonna rock what I'm gonna rock and I'm gonna rock it, bottom line. So what is it easier to be? Is it easier to be this person that has to be beautiful at all times by society standards, or is it easier to be a confident person that believes in oneself? Because the opinion of others really doesn't even matter. So when did you, I guess I said all that to ask you, when did you have that realization in your life that it's easy for you to rock being confident and instead of trying to, fall into the guidelines of what society deemed to be beautiful?
I think it came as the weight like kind of came off. I think there was at the time I was like breaking up. It was a lot going on when I decided to get in the gym. And there's this meme that floats around that says, when a woman leaves you for herself, she's not coming back. And so in the process of cutting my hair off and getting in the gym, there was a lot of internal like self-evaluation going on with me. And so, yes, I hated the body I was in at let's just say 340 at the max. I hated that body. I didn't feel good. I was tired all the time. I hated shopping, and equally it's hard to find stuff to wear, And so as the weight loss came, I was just finding me in the process. And underneath it all, I was like learning, like, it doesn't matter if I'm a size 22 or I'm a size 12. Wherever I'm at, I have to love me. I have to be happy with me. And when I got to that part, then the person that you see now that's on Instagram and that has learned how to take great selfies and, knows what filter to use and how to turn my head and how to smile and how to position my body. That person had to come out of the 340 person, because if I hadn't hit rock bottom emotionally to figure out what was, kind of like the root of why I felt, let's just say, unworthy, or I felt unpretty. Because that's the thing that people really don't know about me, is that I honestly did not consider myself pretty till I got about 30, literally 30.
That's interesting. So what hit that light switch on for you? What made you believe that, you were pretty regardless of, the box that society was trying to place you in?
I think I remember getting dressed for my 30th birthday, and I'll post that picture on Instagram. I had a fade back then. I had on an all leather dress, 6-inch heels, but I remember that day getting my makeup done and getting myself together. And I remember looking in the mirror and like, you that bitch. Like, there is no turning point. Like, I will never be who I was before, like, ever. Like, I realized who I was in that moment. Like, moving forward, it does not matter if I'm with somebody. If I'm in a relationship, I'm single. It doesn't matter if I'm fat, if I'm skinny. It doesn't matter if I have hair or I'm not. If I'm tan, if I'm not. I realized who Karen was. And at that moment, you couldn't do shit to me. I partied till 4 a.m. But I mean, it was literally the turning point of my life, because now, if I didn't have that moment, then you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't sit here as a business partner. I wouldn't sit here as a podcaster. I wouldn't sit here as a blogger. I wouldn't sit here as an author. I wouldn't sit here in some of the positions that, because of who I am and changing, not fundamentally, like to the core, some things you can change, but not everything. But if I didn't make the changes necessary to be open to what the universe would bring me, to be confident, to do this, to do that, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in now, period.
Hats off to you. Hats off to you. There was an interesting thing, like, a moment, I'm going to be transparent, think of me what you will. There's a point in time in my life, I was a piece of shit. I promise you, I was real live shit with corn in it. I was special shit with corn in it. Corn does not, even you chew it up, corn will still come out whole. I was, that type of shit. And here's the reason why, right? I was coming up as a kid, a young man, should I say. I was a handsome dude for the most part. And I would always, shoot my shot at the really pretty girls, whatever the case may be. And sometimes, they would bite. Sometimes, being honest, most times they would not. But I always knew that I had a better shot at overweight women. Like, it was just, if I made them believe that, that if I made them believe that I believe that, that they were beautiful, it was ball game. I would play on their psyche. Right. And I like I tell you, I don't take any pride in that now. I honestly don't. But the reason I'm sharing this story, because it doesn't take, long for karma to come back and bite you in your ass. So long story longer, I got at one female. She was really attractive. I mean, gorgeous, but she was definitely overweight, but she was like gorgeous with all capital letters. So, I'm chasing. She's finally, and then ducking. I'm chasing. She ducking, chasing. So finally the dice landed on 7, and I'm up to bat. We handle what I handle. We do I do, whatever the case may be. We had a great time. And, instead of me, leaving a lasting impression on her, she definitely left a lasting impression on me. Right now, keep in mind, before I met her, there was a couple of females I had in rotation. Like, once again, I said they was on the heavy side, and I kept them in rotation because I knew that, I played upon their self-esteem. I knew that since they were on the heavy side, I just need to be partially in their lives, and they were satisfied with that. Right. So I get with one female, I think she's dropped dead gorgeous, but she's on the plus side as well. So we finally have sex. Sex was like out of this fucking world. And then she ghosts me. Like, what hold up. She's not she's not falling in line with the rest of them. And so, like, when I finally catch back up to her, she like, and then she pulled my card. She was like, "You got a lot of game." No, let me rephrase that. She said, "You got a lot of shit with you, and you're really not a nice person. You think that because I'm overweight, that when you say jump, I'm supposed to say hi because it's an honor to have you around me." Like, she was like, "Nigga, please." She really put my card, and then she really made me see that that's something you shouldn't do, right? But in the midst of me being my usual fucked up self, I had really grown fond of her. Like, and the reason I had grown fond of her because she was confident. Like, no matter what, like, I go over the house, she wouldn't have no makeup on and she was still just gorgeous. Like, and the way that she had no problem laughing at herself. She had no problem being silly as fuck. She was very opinionated. You know what I mean? She had she had many hats. She was a really dope ass chick. And I don't know where the switch went from me playing my usual game into like, I'm really feeling you. And I guess what had happened is she realized that, this nigga's not serious. Like, he's not serious. Like, my words was not necessarily matching my actions, but a part of me was definitely growing real fond of her. But, it was too late for me to, as the song say, too late to apologize. It was too late for me to bust that U-turn to make her see, like, I was wrong. Yeah, my, intentions in the beginning was that of, I'm just trying to hit it, string you along as much as I can. But I'm really digging you. And I missed out on a great, person to be around with, to hang with, to kick it. But once again, what got me was the confidence, and I'm a dead stickler for that. So whomever is listening to the podcast right now, whether it be man or woman, confidence is a beautiful thing. I promise you. Like, once you believe your own shit don't stink, no matter how much it does, you will go far in life. Because it don't matter. The opinion of others don't matter. The opinions of the media doesn't matter. Like, you take a look at Lizzo. I think Lizzo is physically attractive. But what's more so, what has her physical beauty be is her confidence. Same thing with Rick Ross. I mean, you know what I mean? I have no problem with Rick Ross. They talking about he's not in prime bod shape. Like, what? By whose standards is he not in prime bod? Like, I don't get who makes the standards of it. And earlier you was talking about the six pack, and I'm thinking like, okay, cool, but like, there's more men and women out here with stomachs than not. So, and shout out to the people that work really hard in the gym to get that six pack. And I'm not knocking that hustle, right? But my thing is, once you start to fall for a person, what they can bring to the table that has nothing to do with their physicality, then you start to win. Now, granted, we all like what we like. I'm not saying that we, especially men, and women too. Like, women have come around to being visual creatures like men, but we've been on that for a very long time. You're going to like what you like, but do yourself a favor and go a little bit deeper than the surface. And you'll be amazed at a dope person underneath all the bullshit.
Facts. And the other thing though, that kind of like is in my head as far as like the Rick Ross Lizzo thing is, we've turned the page in fat shaming. I think the clothing industry, has had to change. The health industry, like how gyms kind of, what do I want to say? Like how they advertise, how they try to catch people, like Planet Fitness in particular, they resound as, no judgment zone. No judgment zone.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that makes you feel comfortable no matter where you are in your weight loss goal, even if you're trying to lose weight. Because the flip side of the coin is I can advocate and, rah about fat shaming and weight loss and all that. But you have people who are super thin who would love to gain some weight and can't do that.
Facts. This is true. And the beautiful thing, taking it back to Planet Fitness, not only do their motto is no judgment zone, they don't really allow, clunk heads in their gym. Like, really, like, okay, if you're there, so their weight power, their whatever you want to call them, they don't cater to them because their weight goes up to a certain, so they create an environment for the everyday man and woman. Mm-hmm. And the everyday man and woman is without six pack. Everyday man and woman is not 6 foot plus. The everyday man and woman has, shortcomings within their physical stature that they need to work on. And they do a beautiful job in like making it comfortable. So anybody that's listening to the podcast, do yourself a favor. Take a huge page out of Planet Fitness book and apply it to your life. Make your life comfortable enough for you, no matter where you're at in your life. Love you for you where you at right now. It's a bit like, love you for you. Don't like, okay, cool. Like, let me, quick disclosure, right? Not a problem. So it as a kid coming up, you said that you ate because your home was a war zone. Like mine was no. And we're not comparing war stories here, right? I don't ever want to, belittle or make the way that you were raised smaller, like your hardship, like my hardship was harder than yours. That's not what I'm doing here. What I am doing here is like letting people know that, the way I love my parents, it wasn't perfect because, mine too was, hell on earth, not a problem. So with that being said, yeah, I was, I won't say I was a chunky kid, but I did find solace in food, right? But I had a confidence problem more so than that because there was nobody telling me, sowing the seeds of, that I can be whatever I wanted to be, that I was a handsome kid. So what happened is I started to lie to myself. I promise you. And that's we'll talk about it in a hot second. That's something else that people need to do more of, right? Because we can talk about it right now. The brain cannot differentiate between the truth and the lie if you're telling it. That's because people have mantras, right? They have sayings and they say it all the time. Like you take the greatest of all time, which was Muhammad Ali. He repeatedly told himself, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. He wasn't trying to convince the world, and because the world took it as sound bites, the world was like, oh, he's cocky. What he was telling himself. And what happens is once you tell yourself something long enough, you'll start to believe it. So as a kid, because my house was crazy, right? I had to tell myself, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And then I started to believe it. Now, what happened is I took that me being confident and I didn't, become a better person of it. I was an ass. I was, terrible, right? But as older, what I do know is wherever I want to get to in life, like, I tell myself that. Right. So before we started this podcast and when I told myself, this is going to be a great podcast, like we're really going to blow the doors off. And I tell myself that, like, once again, the brain can differentiate, between the truth and the lie. It only believes whatever it is that you tell it. So whomever right now that's struggling with weight, whomever right now is struggling with confidence, whatever you're struggling with, affirm the positive in your life, no matter how silly it may sound. Go in the bathroom, close the door, look in the mirror, make eye contact, and just repeat whatever it is that you need to believe every day for about 2 to 3 minutes. Or if you're not comfortable doing it in the mirror, get in the shower. As you wash, just keep affirming how great you are. Keep affirming how beautiful you are. Keep affirming how you love yourself. That's the main thing right there. Affirm how much you love yourself. Affirm how much you adore yourself. And I promise you, your life will start to change and change for the better.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that about the shower thing because I feel like everybody should have a theme song or you got that one song that gets you hyper than any other song in the world. And like that's your go-to song. And so in the mornings when I am getting ready for work and things like that, like as soon as that song comes on, everybody's like, oh God, like even my kids, they'll be like, oh God, here she goes.
So what song is that?
I have a couple of them. I'm not gonna lie. I have a couple of them, but I have, it's by Freddie McGregor. I Was Born a Winner.
Okay.
And Frankie Beverly and Maze. Which one is it? Typically before I let go, I'm not gonna lie, I do rock out kind of hard to that one. Sometimes it's just my workout playlist. It just all depends on,
right,
what I kind of
so
go off on.
Right. So do you like the Beyonce version of that song or no?
Yes, I actually do.
Yeah, you look like you're part of the Beehive.
Listen, I'm a millennial. Leave me alone.
You're an old ass millennial.
I am not.
Okay.
I'm not. Do you know what the criteria for a millennial is?
I just know that you old and you keep trying to hold on.
Millennials are from 1981 to 1986.
And you were born when?
Huh?
When were you born?
83.
Old ass millennial.
Oh, whatever. Somebody who's 81 is old. I'm not old.
I know I'm old. You're only 69. My gray hair got gray hair. Anywho.
Right. But I feel like you should have, and the thing about, I
I'm
think
sorry.
because we grew up in, it's kind of similar households. Like we didn't know about morning affirmations until like we became grown. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know to tell my kids.
No, I got. I'm sorry, that's not true, right? So I didn't finish the story. Please forgive me. So I knew about that, but I didn't know what it was, right? So I love Muhammad Ali. I gravitated to him because I thought his doggone confidence was like out of this world. Like, of course, what he could do in the ring was phenomenal. I love the stance that he took. He's like, I'm not going fighting nobody's war. Like to see him, like he was a hero's hero. Like when we talk about great, we're not even talking about what he did in the ring. We're talking about he was the greatest as a human being, as a black man. Like I love me some Muhammad Ali, right? I also love Ric Flair, which was he bit from Muhammad Ali with being braggadocious. And so between those two, Ric Flair and Muhammad Ali, I developed this persona. I don't know who he was or what you could call him, but I was loud, I was obnoxious, and you could hear me coming a mile away. And sometimes would rub people the wrong way. And some people was like, okay, he cool to be around, or he crazy, or he loud, or we about to turn up before turn up was a thing, right? Way back in the gap. So I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I knew that I had to create something in myself to get what I wasn't getting at home. So I created, I guess this hybrid between Ali and Flair that developed into me. Like my doggone confidence was, although I was faking it because I had to repeat that, I had to turn it on when I was out and about. There was moments in my life when, of course that, I was still me. I was still unsure. I was still reserved, right? But unless you truly knew me, you would think I'd never shut up. You would think I would never had an opinion on anything. You would think that I was Mr. Know-It-All. Like my mother, it was so bad. My mother said, "Boy, I don't know how you have no friends. Because if I were your friends, I couldn't stand you. Only reason I love you because I'm your mother." True story, right? I was just that bad. But for whatever reason, my friends were uber loyal to me, right? I guess because that was a two-way street. So I developed that I guess that self-preservation mechanism when I was a kid. Like I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I needed it.
So what were you doing? Were you running around in your underwear? Are you posing in the mirror? What does that mean?
Oh my God. No, and that's just nasty. Nah, it's just that you see somebody, right? So, okay, you look at Muhammad Ali, and like I said, he stood up to authority, and he had no problem speaking his mind, whether you agreed with his, religious beliefs, his political beliefs. It didn't matter. He stood up, and he was respectful as he stood up, and he knew how to be a showman. I love that. Like, and me, like to this day, I can go to a mall and start up a conversation, or I see a situation, I antagonize it, talk crazy about it, have fun with it. And then my wife is like, and when we first got together, she was like, you do that stuff for attention. I'm thinking to myself, I'm a grown ass man. I don't want attention. This is just who I am. It's not, I don't want attention. This is who I am as a person. And now as far as, the other part of that hybrid, which is Ric Flair, just, great talker, loud talker, gift of gab, real braggadocious, things of that nature. Like I said, to some people, they dig it. To some females, they dig it. To some females, like, I don't like you use a loud mouth. It's cool. You ain't my type anyway. So no, it wasn't had nothing with me being as a, running around in my underwear, screaming I'm the greatest in the mirror. It just mimicking people that I was very fond of because I'm looking at them and the life that they live. With Muhammad Ali, he defied authority. Ric Flair, of course, was a character, but he was a character that he was a kiss stealing, willing dealing son of a gun. I'm not gonna go through the whole Ric Flair thing because I can, what I mean, at a drop of a dime with a tear in my eye. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go down that. I promise you, I'm not. My daughter probably gonna run down the steps and like, if you don't stop imitating Rick, I'm gonna hurt you. But long story short, so watch your mouth, girl. Watch your mouth. But I internalized them because I like what I seen on TV, the life that they live. And it was definitely something different, or not different. It was something drastically different than my life. Like, I want that right there. I don't want this bullshit that I'm calling life. I don't want this, me having to look outside of my home to find out what love is. So that became a coping and defense mechanism for me. I had to learn, eventually to shed that and just let the real me come out. There's still parts of that. Don't get me wrong. I do use those things when needed, when I believe, but eventually that had to fall to the wayside and the real me had to come out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it has been fun. It has been a blast. It has been, an enlightening hour with both of us. I think, as we keep going in podcasts, you guys will get definitely better parts of myself and better parts of Mr. DK Walker.
I don't know about better parts. They'll get more transparent parts of me. I don't know about better. Like, what you getting is the best of me right now. Like, I'm willing to go ahead and test the sex doll for you people. Like, the sacrifice of, I don't know what she's talking about, y'all, but this is what I'm willing to do for y'all. I'm giving you the best. I'm giving you all that I got.
I was about to say, all right, Anita Baker. And just giving you the best right that I've got.
That's baby. Honey. Mm-hmm. People kill me. Like, people that can't sing, they whisper like Janet. I said this on the previous podcast. They whisper like Janet. And I love Janet, by the way. No, shout out Janet Jackson. Like, they whisper though. And they harmonize, but they whisper. I know I can't sing. That's when I sing loud. Because I know I can't sing.
And one day.
Well, I lie to the people. What?
Listen, and one day I'm going to have control over you. But not today. Again, it has been
control over who? You better keep the habit. What the? Stop. Control. What the? Lord Jesus. Somebody call. Anyway, go ahead. Close us out.
Can I? Can I miss you? Can I miss you much? These are all Janet Jackson songs. That's why I keep doing.
I know. I'm not even. My favorite Janet Jackson song is Oh geez, I listened to the song for 4 hours straight. I was at work. I had my iPod in. Yes, I said iPod.
What should be some?
It'll come to me. I don't know. Stop. Keep talking. It's gonna come to me. It's like
That's the way love goes.
What the? Nope. Keep talking. Keep what?
Anytime, any place.
No, it's the other joint.
Let's wait a while.
That was Jesus. Janet had hits. That wasn't it either.
I get so lonely.
Woo! G Mo Nelly Juice right there. I listened to that song.
Wait. With or without Blackstreet?
Without. What the hell?
Oh Jesus! I knew you was gonna mess it up. I knew it. I knew you was gonna mess that jam up. I knew you was gonna mess it up.
Who the hell is Blackstreet? We talking about Janet here.
Listen.
No, I'm not gonna listen.
Teddy, don't come for me. Don't, Teddy. Don't do it. Don't.
Man, I listen to that song because I run behind a trash truck in my day job, right? And so I get to a certain song on my playlist, and it just a vibe. And I promise you, was like I listened to the whole route, and I'm singing and that's once again being comfortable, beauty, right? Being comfortable in yourself, right? Like if I had the old me would have never done that because I had this image to uphold, right? But the new me not giving a fuck what the world thinks because clearly the world doesn't give a fuck about me. So it will behoove you to be you at all times. You had a loss for words. I'm just being honest. You got to be you at all times.
No, what I'm envisioning you is singing at a very high volume.
Yes, with a high pitched voice because I'm 50.
Right. Like in my mind, I saw the whole thing of you going down residential areas, throwing the trash cans at a high volume.
Recycling, man. Recycling. Please keep going. But yeah, that's it. And then you get into your rhythm. It's a beautiful. It's like you dancing back there. Right.
And then of course now I want to know if you in the middle of the street with that's my song face.
What? Anybody? G Monelli. Man, look.
And the truth comes out.
The truth don't that's so the truth only comes out when something is hidden. That anybody that knows me. Man, please, that what? Oh, that don't surprise me. That fits him. That's my man right there. That's what he do. Once again, being true to me. That's matter of fact, closes out. That's what I'm going to.
That's
come on.
My song face.
Quickly, come on now. I got this thought. Come on. You holding up my Love Jones? Yeah, holding up my Love Jones.
Oh, Jesus. Y'all could have been anywhere for this last hour, but you choose
anywhere. You could have been anywhere
to rock out with us, and for that we are appreciative. We love all the feedback you're giving us. I love y'all for loving us and loving our points of view. At this point in the show, we gonna wrap it up, sealed up with a bow, signed, sealed, delivered. We're yours with Mr. DK Walker and his Love Jones.
Why did you throw in the motherfucking radio voice? Like, this ain't the Quiet Storm. Like, really? This ain't. Stop. Put a staple in your tongue. Don't do that shit no more. Look, so yeah, this is Love Jones, and this is why I'm supposed to, wax deep. I can't wax deep because I'm only 5'7", but I'm fat, so I will wax wide. I need everybody to do a couple of things, right? But the most important thing is don't let nobody determine your value physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like, know your self-worth at all times, right? For all my people out there that's overweight, that's struggling with self-confidence, the goal is not to have this beach bod. The goal is not to be just, summertime fine. The goal is just to be healthy. And what you want, the goals that you want become a byproduct of you becoming healthy, right? So fuck the scale, because the scale is going to go up and down, as long as you're healthy. As long as you're going to the doctor and then your blood pressure is normal, right? As long as when you get tested, you don't have diabetes, right? As long as you're drinking enough water, right? We're not giving a fuck what the scale is talking about. We're not giving a fuck what the media is talking about you have to look a certain way. We're not. It serves nobody no purpose. The only thing we're worrying about is being healthy. That's first thing. The second thing is we're going to be uber confident, bordering on being cocky. That's what we're going to do. It's nothing more sick. Like, ladies, stop. You don't have to have those expensive shoes. You don't have to have that expensive bag. You don't have to, get your face beat all up. That's with makeup and not by your boyfriend. You don't have to have any of those things. With the most attractive thing that you can rock that costs nothing is confidence. Like, I promise you, like, I'm giving you from me, and I don't want to be Steve Harvey and speak for all men, but the most attractive thing on a woman is her just being confident in herself. No matter what your hair looking like, no matter what clothes you got on, just be confident. Be you. Be you loudly. Be you boldly. Be you bravely. Promise you, the world is yours once you realize that you're doing the world a favor by being in it.
That's it. That's all.
I like to think so. I got quiet and gave you, enough time to close this out. You dropped the ball, but what else is new?
Oh, wow. That's how you feel today.
Exactly.
Thank God for editing. You get to keep what you want, keep and take out what you don't want. That is all from us. I am the Thorny Chick, Karen K.
I promise you edit that part out. We're going to come back to the podcast and be like, yo, this is the Love Is podcast with your host, DK Walker.
I don't know what I mean, I'm sure you can probably do this whole dialogue back and forth with yourself. I mean, it's going to sound a little strange, but hey, rock out.
It's not a problem. You better not cut my shit out at all. Anyway, all jokes aside, people, we definitely appreciate y'all taking the time out to listen to us. Like my co-host, my beautiful co-host said, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you took the time out to listen to this podcast. And for that, we're uber grateful. Do me a favor. If you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, we need your reviews, right? We definitely need your reviews. Whether you like this, love this, hate this, or feel indifferent, doesn't matter. We need your reviews. The other thing is, before we close the show, is we're trying to start a segment called Ask DK. Make sure you hit us up at
AskDK at nlpublishing.com, ENEL publishing.com,
or
The Love Is podcast at nlpublishing.com, ENEL publishing.com.
And in case you want to text us, you can
text us at 202-715-1645.
All right, Karen, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
Peace.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended, but please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.